everyone, welcome back to the Keto Crafter. If you're new here, my name is Lori. I have been following a ketogenic lifestyle since November of 2019, and I've lost down from 338 pounds, and now I am currently at 219 pounds. So roughly about 120 pounds of weight loss. Originally, I had put my hidradenitis and fibromyalgia into remission. Fibromyalgia is still in remission for the most part, unfortunately due to poor food choices and things. My hidradenitis, or HS, is active again. However, that's not the topic for today. Today I'm going to tell you, or just talk about what's in my keto pantry. Okay, and this is for anybody that is just, maybe thinking about starting keto. Here's some things that I think that you need to have on hand. Obviously, for your refrigerator, you need eggs, you need butter, heavy cream if you want it. Heavy cream is better than half and half. Half and half, you want the fat, so heavy cream is better than half and half if you're wanting a true keto type of way of eating. A lot of people, they'll get like Keto super creamer, or if you want something like in your coffee that's really creamy, try adding an egg. Or just the egg yolk, or try adding butter, just a tablespoon or so of butter. It's fantastic, makes it really creamy, makes it really good. As far as sweeteners go, I'm kind of all over the place. I like different sweeteners for different things. So I would recommend, number one, you have to know how your body reacts to the different sweeteners. Some people just can't tolerate some of the sweeteners, particularly if you're a diabetic and you're trying to reverse your type 2 diabetes. You need to be very careful because some of the sweeteners could cause stomach issues, digestive issues, and it could cause your blood sugar to go up, and that's not what you want. You want something that's going to not affect your blood sugar. I generally prefer allulose, and I order it from Amazon. I like the Whole Earth Allulose Baking Blend. I have used Splenda Allulose, and I really liked it. There's one called, it's put out by Wholesome Young. I think it's called Bestie, and it's an allulose blend. Erythritol is fine. The only thing I don't personally like about erythritol, or just using erythritol in something like Swerve, is because it tends to have like a cooling aftertaste, and sometimes it's okay, but most of the time it's just not a sensation that I want, eating something. So I like to mix, I like a blend, particularly something that is like an allulose based blend, because then it acts like sugar. Allulose is not as sweet as sugar. It's 70% as sweet as regular sugar. So that's something else to think about, especially if you're making a recipe and it calls for like 1 cup of sweetener. Okay, well, if you just use 1 cup of allulose, then you might have to add either some stevia drops or some erythritol or monk fruit to that to get it the same sweetness as the original recipe. However, if you're like me and you're sort of kind of lost you're real sensitive to sweet stuff, because after a while you start to get really sensitive for, sugary or tasting things. So I personally just like to use the allulose. Every once in a while I'll add a couple drops of stevia or 1 drop of stevia to go with it. But overall, I think that allulose is definitely better. The allulose browns like sugar. So like if you were, let's just say you were going to make a creme brulee, a keto version, then you could sprinkle the allulose on top, and you could use a torch on it and it would brown just like regular sugar. I always keep some Swerve Brown because I feel like it is the best brown sugar replacement. I've tried Lakanto, but I think I like the Swerve just a little bit better. That's just a preference, but you can find out which one you like the best. Lakanto makes some wonderful products. I love using Lakanto Golden. Their drops, the monk fruit drops, are fine. But you have to find out which sweetener fits your lifestyle best. So you just want to have, you know, some type of a, you know, an alternative to traditional sugar. And another thing is, like, unless you want to make your own confectioner sugar or powdered sugar blend, Swerve powdered, it's fine. You know, it just has that erythritol. I mean, but you can offset it. It's possible, but I don't use that much powdered sugar, so you know, or confectioner Swerve. It's just every once in a while some of the recipes will call for it. Another thing is like flour. Okay, flour alternatives. Okay, this is another thing. You have to find what works for you. But if you don't have any type of food sensitivities or inflammation, fine almond flour, and it's fine sifted. And of course, you always want to sift, you know, your ingredients, especially your, you know, I mean your dry ingredients, obviously. But I mean, if you want to sift your liquid ingredients, you go ahead. I said you could do it. It is fine. See, I have spoken. But as far as like the dry ingredients, you want to sift them to make sure there's no, you know, tough bits or whatever. But almond flour. Another thing is coconut flour. As far as brands go, I like to use the Blue Diamond brand of almond flour. I can get it at Costco's. That's the best price. Costco's is cheaper than Sam's as far as almond flour goes, which is ironic, really, because you would think that Sam's would be a little bit cheaper. But anyway, I won't get into that. Coconut flour, I usually just use the Great Value brand. It works. I can't tell a difference. I've used Bob's Red Mill. I've used Anthony's. You know, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Sam's Club if you order it online. Some locations of Sam's and Costco may have more than what others have. So you can check locally, and if you can't find it, Amazon, honestly, especially if you're a Prime member, free shipping, you can't beat it. And it's there in 2 days for the most part. We won't go into that either. As far as like nuts, again, inflammatory issues aside, pecans, walnuts, cashews, pistachios, macadamia nuts, or even, that's wonderful. Almonds, of course. And if you get like a mixed nut blend, you definitely want to make sure that it doesn't have any oil, you know, in it. Like sometimes you'll get like a thing of mixed nuts and it's been roasted in peanut oil. You know, you don't need that because peanut oil can be inflammatory. Yes, we deep fry our turkey in peanut oil, but that's because we like it, and it's just usually 1 or 2 days out of the year, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Fruit, okay. This is something that, I mean, obviously if you can get fresh fruit, fresh berries, that is ultimately the best way. However, you know, sometimes, you know, seasonal differences and everything. I like to keep frozen blueberries on hand. I get them at Costco or Sam's Club, either one, and I try to get the just the wild blueberries. If you get the organic ones, the wild ones, they're generally smaller, and according to Dr. Berry, that is more ancestrally true rather than the big blueberries that you see like in Publix and sometimes Walmart or, you know, other food stores. Sometimes bigger is not always better. But another thing is frozen strawberries. I actually prefer fresh strawberries if I'm going to eat them. And then of course, I'm not that fond of blackberries anymore. I used to love them, and then my taste changed. So yeah, blackberries, raspberries, all that stuff, you know, fresh is better, but you know, if you want to get like frozen to keep on hand, that's great. And I know with the holidays coming up, some people are like, well, can I have cranberries? Yes, you can fit cranberries into a keto lifestyle. Obviously, and if you're not new to my channel, you know that I don't track anything, but it's because I primarily eat I'm more meat based. Every once in a while I'll have a vegetable, and every once in a while I'll have like a strawberry or a piece of fruit. But for the most part, I don't have to track, because I know for a fact that I'm keeping my carbs under 20 total grams per day. That's just me. You do you, and I support you. So whatever. As far as like dairy, if you're gonna have like regular milk, Fairlife milk has the least amount of carbs in it that I have tried personally. I also like the taste of it. Now, I don't drink milk because why? But I do use it to make homemade yogurt. And I do love the Fairlife brand. There's other brands out there, but I like it because it's ultra filtered, it's ultra pasteurized. So I don't have to do anything. I just put all my ingredients in my Instant Pot and make my yogurt. As far as yogurt, if you're not making your own, Fage, try to get as much fat content as possible in your yogurt. Fage is a good brand. The Ratio Keto yogurt is good. It has a good flavor to it. This is coming from somebody that typically doesn't like yogurt. I love my homemade yogurt, and I love Keto Ratio, but the Keto Ratio yogurt, or Ratio Keto yogurt, is very, very, very sweet to me. So, and it could spike people's blood sugar, so you might want to check into that. You may want to leave that alone and just get the regular Fage, and then you can mix in blueberries, or you can add a couple of stevia drops to sweeten it if you want. Pork rinds. You want to get the pork rinds that are fried in pork fat, not in vegetable oil or peanut oil. You want them fried in pork fat, or lard, I guess. And you want to make sure that you read the ingredient label as far as seasonings go. Some seasonings have maltodextrin, and some people are sensitive to maltodextrin. It can cause spike in blood sugar or insulin increase. And so therefore, I mean, the whole point is to keep your insulin levels balanced and use your fat for fuel. So, but pork rinds are a great snack. I like the Max brand. Some of the ingredients, you know, may not be perfect. Porking Good is actually my favorite, but I have to order them, and they're a little bit pricier. I also like the Baconettes, the queso flavored pork rinds, but they do have maltodextrin in them, so just be advised of that. You know, again, you do what works best for you. But pork rinds not only make a great snack, or, you know, something for that crunch, because if you're coming off eating potato chips, you're gonna miss that crunch. I guarantee it. So you're gonna want like pork rinds that helps with, you know, feed that crunchiness. And another thing is you can take plain pork rinds and you can really dress them up. You can make like some ground beef and season it with taco seasoning, put it over the top, get some queso cheese and, you know, drizzle it over the top, and you've got some fantastic pork rind nachos. You know, put some jalapenos on there if you want it. You can make it, you know, however you want. Also, I use ground pork rinds, the crumbs in, like if I make a meatloaf, rather than breadcrumbs or anything like that. And it's fantastic for meatballs as well. Just a little bit of a binder. Another thing is you can bread stuff with pork rind crumbs. Like if you want to do like an air fryer chicken or pork or whatever, seasoned pork rinds, you know, you can take the plain pork rinds and season them however you like, you know, and dredge whatever in there. And that works really well. Another thing I like to have is unflavored, unsweetened protein powder. Again, this is something that you might have to check into to make sure it doesn't cause inflammation for you. But I generally just use an unflavored whey protein powder. I get it from Amazon. I have this huge container And I use that actually to like fry chicken livers in. You know, I'll dredge it in that and I'll add like some seasonings to it, you know. Another thing is you can use it for fried chicken if you want fried chicken. And as far as like frying, you know, an air fryer is great, but if you really want actually fried food, get you some avocado oil or beef tallow. The avocado oil is generally flavorless, and it has a high smoke point, so you can get it high enough. It is expensive, so if you have a Sam's membership or Costco's membership, that would be the place to get it, unless you can come up on a sale, because it can get quite expensive. Another thing is extra virgin olive oil, and another thing that you might want to keep on hand is coconut oil. A lot of recipes call for coconut oil. And, you know, like if you're going to be doing a lot of like baking, like, you know, sweet things, if you like coconut, make sure you get the unsweetened coconut. And then, you know, you can just sweeten it your way. But it works great. I usually get my coconut oil, and I get the kind in the canister. I also have some liquid coconut oil for different things. Flax seeds. A lot of people use flax seeds. Again, this is a personal preference thing. I generally don't. I have some golden flaxseed meal in my freezer, and it's been there for a while. It's probably out of date because I've just never used it. Salt. Redmond real salt. I can't recommend it enough. That's the best salt. They have some wonderful seasoned salt. They have a garlic salt, an onion salt. I think they have a lemon pepper seasoning, and they have new smoked salt blends, but they're out of stock right now, and I think someone said it was coming back in December, so that's exciting. As far as seasonings go, I try to stay away from any seasoning blends that have maltodextrin in them, or MSG, or anything that, you know, might cause inflammation. And sometimes that can be difficult to find, but usually single spices are okay. It's the seasoning blends that tend to have the questionable ingredients. For instance, I just got the Frank's Red Hot dry seasoning and the Buffalo Ranch seasoning, which I love, but it does have maltodextrin, and and one of them has a little bit of sugar, but it's on down the ingredients, and I haven't had any inflammation, or I can't tell where I've had any extra inflammation from that. As far as cheese goes, I'm not going to tell you that you have to buy a block of cheese and shred it yourself, because I don't do it. Every once in a while I will, but for the most part I buy the pre-shredded cheese. And yes, that does increase like carbs, because they usually put like something to keep it from sticking together, particularly mozzarella cheese. But again, pick your battles. I don't use it that much, so when I do use it, I don't see any problem with it. I like Mexican blend cheese. I like to keep some mozzarella cheese on hand for chaffles, even though I've pretty much stopped eating chaffles at this point, at least made with mozzarella cheese. I either like to make them with like some ground pork rinds, for like a poffle, I think it's called, and then, or I'll just use cream cheese. Another thing, cream cheese. Yep, you're gonna need that. I generally get the Great Value brand, and I get the double pack at Walmart. You can't beat the price. Sour cream, I get the Daisy brand. I get the full fat. I don't get fat-free anything. I don't watch my fat content. I eat until I am satiated, until I am comfortably full. So therefore, I don't worry about my fat macros or whatever. I do try to concentrate on eating as much protein as possible, because my body does need it for healing and for maintaining how I feel. And I try to feel as good as I can. Electrolytes, I like Redmond Relight. I even like Zip Fizz. I like I love the Keto Chow electrolyte drops. That's something good to keep on hand. The Keto Chow Daily Minerals is good to have. As far as flavoring extracts, I mean, obviously vanilla. Vanilla extract, and I like the Loran bakery emulsions. They have like a blueberry and apple. I think they have banana, pineapple. I like the Loran flavorings, and I ordered them from Amazon. That's the best price I've been able to find. I like them because they are the super strength, so you don't have to use quite as much. So it's economically or budget friendly to me, because that way I don't have to use 3,000 teaspoons at whatever I'm making. No, it's not true. I don't have any recipes that call for 3,000 teaspoons of vanilla. If I did, I wouldn't eat it. But let's see, I think I've covered everything. I also have Keto Chow in my pantry. Lots and lots of wide variety of Keto Chow. Well, not lots and lots anymore because I've been using it. But I like to keep the Snickerdoodle on hand because it's got a nice like cinnamon type flavor, but it's muted, so you can pretty much use it for like making like Keto Chow has on their website, they have a recipe for a blueberry cobbler that is really good, and it uses the Snickerdoodle Keto Chow. The vanilla Keto Chow is really good to have just as a base for other stuff. You can put flavorings or, you know, whatever in. If you want, you can, you know, put like some natural peanut butter to make it peanut butter flavored, which I do that with the pistachio Keto Chow too, and it just gives it a little bit extra nuttiness. As far as like chocolate chips, I have tried numerous brands. I've tried the Bake Believe, which you get at Walmart. Very good. I really like the Bake Believe brand. It's cheaper than Lily's, but it's just as good. I love Lily's, obviously. I use a lot of Lily's, particularly around the holiday seasoning for like cookies, brownies, cakes, whatever. And sometimes I have been known to just go get just a small amount, like a tablespoon or so of just the chocolate chips and eat them. Yep, I admit it. I confess. But it's okay. Still losing weight. Still feeling great. Chalk Zero. I like Chalk Zero. It has a wonderful flavor. However, because I don't have a Sprouts around me or any stores that do carry it in their stores, I have to order it. And of course, it's cheaper just to order it directly from Chalk Zero. The problem I have with some of the Chalk Zero products is that I know for a fact that it causes a blood sugar spike in me. Now, I'm not a diabetic, but I can tell when I'm getting a rush of glucose, because I'll get shaky, and when I crash, I generally have a very, very bad headache. So I love Chalk Zero, but Chalk Zero kind of doesn't like me. It depends on the thing that I get. Like their syrups, I love them, but I can't use them. Their syrups have too much fiber in them, and they're using that fiber for a sweetener, and so therefore it tends to cause me to have issues. Their chocolate chips, their baking chips, it's fine. They're white chocolate. Their candy and stuff like the peanut butter cups and stuff like that, their truffles. Well, honestly, this past holiday season, I had ordered some of their truffles and I wasn't impressed. The flavor was just not, the flavor was good initially, but it left like a powdery aftertaste, and I can't stand that. So do I recommend that you try it? Absolutely, because if you like it and if it helps you on your journey, if it is a good substitution for you and doesn't cause you to have any issues, then great, go for it. I do like to keep some powdered butter and I get it from Amazon. I also have powdered peanut flour that I use sometimes. I don't use a whole lot of it because peanuts do tend to aggravate inflammatory illnesses, but I have it because some things I have to use it. So, because for me, this is a lifestyle. I'm not on this temporarily. I will be eating this way for the rest of my life. And sometimes I want something peanut butter flavored. And if I don't have the natural peanut butter or the sugar-free peanut butter on hand, then I need to have some peanut flour, because it is great, especially like if you add like a tablespoon of peanut flour into your keto chow shake. It makes just such a phenomenal tasting peanut butter flavor. It's really good, especially like if you're using butter as your fat source for your keto chow. If you have any questions, if I can help you in any way, please feel free to email me at theketocrafter@gmail.com. All that information is down below in the description box. You can send me a friend's request on Facebook. I've got everything linked down below. And another thing is, if you're looking for support and want a real nice, compassionate group to talk with, I cannot recommend enough the 2KK family group. It's the Two Crazy Ketos group on Facebook. Just wonderful group of people. I have made so many friends. I just love them dearly, and it's always supportive. There's no keto police. We have people in there that are doing low carb. We have some that are doing keto. We have some that are doing carnivore. Even some that are just getting started, some that are in maintenance mode. It's a great place to ask questions and get a wide variety of answers, and to not feel pressure. We treat everybody with kindness, and I think that it's a great support group for anybody that is wanting to improve their health, lose weight, and have some support while doing it. With that being said, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment if you wish. And until next time, stop making excuses and start making progress. I'll see you on the next one.